Mark worked late nights at a high-rise office in Midtown Manhattan. It was a tall building, over 50 floors, but he had never been above the 40th floor. One night, exhausted, he left work and stepped into the elevator. The panel flickered strangely. The buttons glowed, but one floor had no number. Just a blank button at the bottom. Curious, he pressed it. The elevator shuddered, lights flickered, and the hum of the machinery slowed. Slowly, the elevator began to rise, higher than the building's top floor. Mark noticed something terrifying. The air inside the elevator felt heavy, almost solid. His reflection in the polished metal walls began to ripple, as if it was moving on its own. Jump scare. Suddenly, the lights went out completely. Mark screamed as he felt a hand brush against his shoulder. No one was there. The lights flickered back. He was alone. Or so he thought. The elevator doors opened. Mark stepped onto a floor that didn't exist. The walls were dark, cracked, and covered in graffiti. The air smelled like rust and decay. Far down the hallway, lights flickered, and he could hear whispers. Slow suspense. He began walking down the hall. The whispers grew louder, almost chanting his name. Mark. Mark. He reached a door at the end of the hallway. It was slightly ajar. He pushed it open. Inside, dozens of mirrors lined the walls, but each reflection was different. Some versions of Mark were screaming, some were bleeding, some were frozen in terror. Jump scare. Suddenly, one reflection moved independently, reaching its hand out of the mirror and grabbing Mark by the wrist. He yanked it free, heart racing. A deep, hollow voice echoed through the hallway. Choose, stay or leave! Mark ran back to the elevator. The panel had changed, only 2 buttons now. Stay and leave. Desperate, he slammed leave. The elevator plummeted. Lights flickered violently. The walls around him seemed to stretch and pulse like a living creature. He screamed. Final jump scare. The elevator stopped with a violent jolt. The doors opened. He was back in the lobby, lights bright, normal people walking around. The security guard looked at him strangely. You okay, sir? You passed out on the elevator. Mark looked down. In his pocket, his phone buzzed. A new photo appeared. He had not taken it. It showed him standing in the elevator, but behind him, dozens of pale hands were pressed against the walls, reaching for him. Mark never returned to that building, but sometimes, when the city sleeps, the elevator hums, waiting for the next passenger.